National Electrical Code, or NEC, does not specify a height requirement for meter bank installations. However, NFPA 70E, Standard for Electrical Safety in the Workplace, Section 130.10, states that metering equipment shall be installed at a height that allows safe operation and maintenance without the use of a ladder or portable work platform. Local codes and ordinances may have additional requirements, including height restrictions for meter bank installations. It is important to check with the local authority having jurisdiction, or OJ, to determine the specific requirements in the area. The height of a meter bank installation should be determined based on several factors. Firstly, safe access. The meter bank should be accessible for operation and maintenance without the use of a ladder or portable work platform. Secondly, clearance from grade. To prevent damage from flooding or other hazards, the meter bank should be installed a reasonable distance above grade. Thirdly, line of sight. The meter should be installed at a height that allows for easy reading and inspection. Fourthly, enclosure. If the meter bank is installed outdoors, it should be enclosed in a weatherproof enclosure such as NEMA 3R. The authority having jurisdiction's requirement of keeping the lowest breaker on the stack 3 feet from grade appears to be based on NFPA 70E and is a reasonable safety measure. It is recommended to comply with this requirement. Several sections of the NEC might indirectly influence the placement and mounting of meter banks, even if they don't explicitly state height requirements. Consider Article 110.26 regarding workspaces about electrical equipment. This article mandates sufficient access and working space around electrical equipment that is likely to require examination, adjustment, servicing, or maintenance while energized. While not a direct height specification, ensuring the working space requirements are met could influence how high or low the meter bank is mounted to allow personnel to safely perform their duties. Article 230 covering services could also indirectly influence meter bank placement. For example, 230.202e addresses the accessibility of service equipment. This section is more concerned with general accessibility rather than specific height, but the overarching theme is that service equipment, including meter banks, needs to be readily accessible to qualified persons. Article 408.18 dictates the minimum headroom for switchboards and panel boards. Although this section technically applies to switchboards and panel boards, it reflects the NEC general concern about providing adequate space for electrical work. This principle can be applied to meter banks to ensure sufficient headroom for safe access and operation. Also, consult local amendments to the NEC. Many jurisdictions adopt the NEC but introduce their own amendments to address specific local conditions. These amendments might include specific height requirements for meter banks. Contact the local authority having jurisdiction to confirm any local variations to the NEC. Consider the practicality and safety of meter reading. Meter readers need to be able to easily and safely read the meters. Therefore, the height should be conducive to clear visibility without requiring undue stretching or bending. Account for potential obstructions like landscaping, parked vehicles, or snow accumulation in regions where it snows. The meter bank's location should prevent these factors from impeding access or visibility. Ensure that the mounting structure is robust and capable of supporting the weight of the meter bank and withstanding environmental stresses like wind, rain, and snow. Follow manufacturer's instructions for mounting and installation. If the meter bank includes disconnecting means such as breakers or switches, verify that their operating handles are within a convenient reach. The NEC does not explicitly define what constitutes a convenient reach, but the intent is that operators should be able to easily and safely manipulate these devices. If the installation is in an area accessible to the general public, consider additional measures to prevent tampering or unauthorized access. This might involve installing the meter bank in a locked enclosure or behind a protective barrier. Meter banks often involve multiple conductors and connections. Proper labeling is crucial for identifying circuits and equipment. The labels must be durable and legible and should comply with NEC Article 110.21, which addresses the identification of disconnecting means and other components. Ensure that all wiring and connections comply with NEC requirements for conductor sizing, insulation, and termination. Proper wiring practices are essential for preventing overheating, short circuits, and other hazards. Grounding and bonding are critical for safety. The meter bank and associated equipment must be properly grounded and bonded according to NEC Article 250 to minimize the risk of electric shock. Consider future maintenance and upgrades. The meter bank's location should allow for easy access for future maintenance, repairs, or upgrades. Avoid locations that might become obstructed or inaccessible over time. For outdoor installations, consider the effects of sunlight exposure on the meter enclosure and components. Prolonged exposure to direct sunlight can cause materials to degrade over time. Orient the enclosure to minimize sun exposure or use materials that are resistant to ultraviolet radiation. In coastal areas, salt air can accelerate corrosion of electrical equipment. Choose corrosion-resistant materials for the meter enclosure and components. Periodically inspect the meter bank for signs of corrosion and take corrective action as needed. In areas prone to flooding, elevate the meter bank above the anticipated flood level to prevent water damage. Consult local flood maps and regulations to determine the appropriate elevation. If the meter bank is located near trees, trim branches to prevent them from contacting the enclosure or conductors. Tree contact can damage equipment and create a safety hazard. Consider the aesthetic impact of the meter bank installation. While functionality and safety are paramount, try to minimize the visual impact of the installation on the surrounding environment. Coordinate with other utilities to ensure that the meter bank does not interfere with their equipment or operations. Maintain accurate records of the meter bank installation, including drawings, specifications, and inspection reports. These records will be valuable for future maintenance and troubleshooting. Train personnel who will be working on or near the meter bank in safe work practices. Emphasize the importance of following lockout/takeout procedures and using appropriate personal protective equipment. Regularly inspect the meter bank for any signs of damage, deterioration, or safety hazards. Promptly address any issues that are identified. Stay up to date on the latest NEC requirements and industry best practices for meter bank installations. Electrical codes and standards are constantly evolving, so continuous learning is essential. When installing a meter bank, always prioritize safety. Follow all applicable codes and standards, and take extra precautions to protect workers and the public. The specific height requirement of 3 feet might be tied to accessibility standards for individuals with disabilities. Although the NEC doesn't explicitly mention this in the context of meter banks, other regulations, such as the Americans with Disabilities Act, or ADA, set standards for accessible design. While the ADA primarily focuses on public accommodations and commercial facilities, the principle of accessibility can influence local interpretations of electrical codes, particularly in public spaces. A 3-foot clearance could ensure that the operating mechanisms of the meter bank, such as breakers, are within reach of individuals with mobility impairments. The requirement could also be based on local utility company standards. Utility companies often have their own specific requirements for meter installations to ensure uniformity, safety, and ease of access for their personnel. These standards might include specific height requirements for meter banks, which the authority having jurisdiction enforces. The authority having jurisdiction may be interpreting general safety principles to create a specific requirement for meter bank installation. For example, a 3-foot clearance could be deemed necessary to prevent accidental contact with energized parts or to protect the equipment from damage due to ground-level activities. The authority having jurisdiction is responsible for interpreting and enforcing the electrical code in their jurisdiction. Their interpretation, even if not explicitly stated in the NEC, carries the force of law. It is always best to comply with the authority having jurisdiction's requirements, even if you disagree with them. You can, however, request a formal interpretation or variance from the authority having jurisdiction if you believe their requirement is unreasonable or unnecessary. To get a clearer understanding of the authority having jurisdiction's requirement, ask them to provide the specific code section or a regulation that supports their position. This will help you understand the basis for their requirement and determine if there are any alternative solutions. Document all communications with the authority having jurisdiction, including the date, time, and the name of the person you spoke with. Keep records of any written interpretations or variances that you receive. If you are unable to resolve the issue with the authority having jurisdiction, you may want to consult with a qualified electrical engineer or attorney. They can help you understand your rights and options. If the 3-foot height requirement poses a significant challenge, explore alternative solutions that meet the authority having jurisdiction's intent while minimizing the impact on your installation. For example, you might be able to use a different type of enclosure or relocate the meter bank to a different location. If you are installing multiple meter banks, consider standardizing the height and layout to simplify installation and maintenance. This can also improve the overall appearance of the installation. Ensure that the meter bank is properly supported and secured to prevent it from tipping over or falling. Use appropriate mounting hardware and techniques for the type of wall or structure to which the meter bank is being attached. Consider the weight of the meter bank when selecting mounting hardware. The hardware must be capable of supporting the weight of the meter bank plus any additional loads such as wind or snow. If the meter bank is installed on an exterior wall, seal all penetrations to prevent water from entering the building. Use a waterproof sealant that is compatible with the wall material and the meter enclosure. If the meter bank is installed in a damp or wet location, provide adequate drainage to prevent water from accumulating inside the enclosure. Drill drain holes in the bottom of the enclosure or install a drain fitting. If the meter bank is installed in an area where it is likely to be exposed to physical damage, provide additional protection such as bollards or barriers. These barriers can help prevent vehicles or equipment from colliding with the meter bank. Ensure that the area around the meter bank is well lit to improve visibility and safety. Install lighting fixtures that provide adequate illumination for meter reading and maintenance. If the meter bank is located in a hazardous location, such as a gasoline dispensing area, follow the requirements of NEC Article 500 and subsequent articles. Use explosion-proof enclosures and wiring methods to prevent ignition of flammable vapors. If the meter bank includes surge protection devices, ensure that they are properly installed and grounded. Surge protection devices can help protect the meter bank and connected equipment from damage due to lightning strikes or other voltage surges. Regularly test surge protection devices to ensure that they are functioning properly. Replace any devices that are damaged or have exceeded their lifespan. Consider using smart meters that can be read remotely. Smart meters eliminate the need for manual meter reading, which can improve safety and reduce costs. Ensure that smart meters are properly secured and protected from tampering. If the meter bank is part of a larger energy management system, integrate it with the system to monitor energy consumption and identify potential problems. Energy management systems can help you optimize energy usage and reduce costs. When selecting a meter bank enclosure, consider the environmental conditions to which it will be exposed. Choose an enclosure that is rated for the appropriate environment, such as NEMA 3R for outdoor use or NEMA 4X for corrosive environments. Inspect meter enclosures regularly for signs of damage or deterioration. Repair or replace any damaged enclosures promptly to prevent water or other contaminants from entering the enclosure. When working on or near a meter bank, always follow safe work practices and use appropriate personal protective equipment. Wear safety glasses, gloves, and other protective gear as needed. De-energize the meter bank before performing any maintenance or repairs, unless it is absolutely necessary to work on it while energized. Follow lockout/tagout procedures to prevent accidental energization of the meter bank. Use insulated tools when working on or near energized equipment. Maintain a safe distance from energized parts. Never reach into an enclosure without first verifying that it is de-energized. Be aware of the potential hazards associated with working on or near electrical equipment, such as electric shock, arc flash, and explosions. Take steps to minimize these hazards. If you are not qualified to work on electrical equipment, hire a qualified electrician to perform the work. Electrical work can be dangerous, so it is important to have the necessary training and experience. Regularly review your safety procedures and practices to ensure that they are up to date and effective. Conduct regular safety meetings to discuss potential hazards and how to prevent accidents. Encourage employees to report any safety concerns they may have. Investigate all accidents and near misses to determine the root causes and prevent them from happening again. Create a culture of safety in your workplace. Make safety a top priority and empower employees to take responsibility for their own safety and the safety of others. The 3-foot requirement from the authority having jurisdiction could also be related to standard practices in the region, reflecting a consensus among local contractors, inspectors, and utility companies on what constitutes a safe and practical installation height. These practices, while not formally codified, can become de facto standards that the authority having jurisdiction enforces. The goal is to ensure that all meter installations in the area adhere to a consistent level of safety and accessibility. The authority having jurisdiction may also be anticipating future needs or changes in technology. For example, the 3-foot clearance might be intended to accommodate future upgrades to the meter bank or the installation of additional equipment. By requiring a certain amount of clearance, the authority having jurisdiction can ensure that the meter bank will be able to adapt to changing needs without requiring costly modifications. To further clarify the specific reason behind the 3-foot requirement, it can be helpful to research similar installations in the area. Observe existing meter banks in nearby buildings or facilities to see if they also comply with the 3-foot clearance rule. This can provide valuable insights into the authority having jurisdiction's expectations and the prevailing practices in the community. It is essential to address any concerns or questions that the authority having jurisdiction may have about the proposed meter bank installation. Be prepared to provide detailed information about the design, materials, and installation methods. Addressing their concerns proactively can help to build trust and facilitate the approval process.